Continue. So I'm gonna pick up for where I left off. The subtitle says a backup save file for civilization. The effects of some catastrophes, such as a large asteroid impact or global nuclear war. Ain't that the spirit? I'm gonna reread that. It says the effects of some the effects of some catastrophes, such as a large asteroid impact or global nuclear war, are likely to be so widespread and devastating that survivors will be severely hard pressed to recover quickly afterwards. Other possibilities, such as a coronal, coronal, coronal mass ejection, coronal, coronal, coronal mass ejection, could collapse our technological infrastructure but leave the huge human population largely unscathed in the immediate aftermath. What would likely follow would be fierce competition for dwelling Slovakia. Damn, I just all off today. I just woke up like, wait up. Now I wanted to get some vids in. Okay, let me reread this. What would likely follow would be fierce competition for dwindling resources and a savage secondary depopulation. God, because instead of people coming to work together, that spirit of all is me, all is me, all is me, vanity is people ain't gonna be looking to. You're gonna literally see households eat each other. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You know, I grew up. Well, I didn't. Literally, I can't recall growing up in the projects. You know, but I lived in the projects. I got older siblings that can recall it a lot better. At the end of the day, they grew up in a time where projects been projects, but people would help each other more. You know what I mean? Like you might knock on the neighbors next door and they give you some sugar like they did on Bad Boys. You know, borrow a cup of sugar, but at the same time nowadays, you know what I mean, you could be beating the shit out of your wife. I mean, it just you know what I mean? It's like for instance, you've been watching the news, you hear about the judgments where people knocking on the wrong door and getting killed. You know what I'm saying? It's a very, very cold, you know, scripture say we're gonna wax colder and colder. So, people ain't gonna come together and help each other. They gonna be trying to see you know, instead of we both go to the grocery store like on one of the like zombie movies, and we both get some food, like that Walking Dead episode. Put it like this: where I think it was like the second season where the one guy that was trying to fuck with the guy. I'm not good with names and movies and series unless I've seen the movie multiple times. I can't remember the guy's name. I just remember he was the guy that wanted the main character's wife, and he had fell in love with her because she was fucking him that quick. You know, what I mean? Even though they thought he was dead or whatnot, but still though. So he ended up wanting his wife. So he was trying to take him out. He went. They went to go try and get some medicine or something. He went with another guy, and the other guy basically got hurt. So what I'm saying, he didn't try save him or put it in a position where he could you know, let him fend for himself. He actually used him as bait to get away. You know what I mean? So, and that's how a lot of people's mindsets and where their heart's gonna be, where their mind gonna be. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Where their mind gonna be at? Because at the end of the day, majority of these people are very selfish. That's the beautiful thing about this truth. You see how unselfish the Most High can be. Well, not can be is. You know what I mean? Like I've seen brother give a 2/3 his last. You know what I mean? Because the dude saying scripture, about dealing with the poor. I mean, actually, you can read it a lot in Proverbs. Yeah. At the end, they would. So I mean, for whatever reason, spirit moved that brother. But I've seen unselfish giving. And then you got all these people that's supposed to be in the church that sit up there. Like I was listening to one of the brothers speak, or you talk about they say our message bugged out, we fucked up, we this and that. Yeah, it's still we the realest Christians on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to use that word Christian, because at the end of the day, you have a so-called Christian go to one of these churches on a Sunday morning, and it'll be a homeless guy sitting in front of the church, and they'll come out and walk right past him. But you know what I mean? But yet still talks about all this giving and how to treat the poor in the scriptures. I mean, when you take the time to think about that, not to digress, because I want to get back into this lesson, but when I went into when they was explaining how, you know, it was a law in scriptures where as far as how, say for instance, you had land and you grew certain, like with the story of Ruth and how she was used to pick and what's his name, uh that guy that ended up being the kinsman redeemer. I can't think. I don't feel like going to look at his name up and all that. But long story short, whenever he owned the land, and the mother-in-law sent her to go work on the field. Long story short, uh, those fields, it was a law where you supposed to left so much of the grain. That's what I think it was grain. You leave, or whatever it is, whatever you grew on, you leave so much on there. You reap so much, and then you leave so much because of the fact you had people that were poor or homeless or whatnot. Because these things have always been here. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, the scriptures code. But anyhow, let me get back into the scriptures. Let me read that. This is it says oh, here we go. Global person quickly. Other public, what would likely follow would be fierce competition for. I read all that, and a secondary depopulation because, like I said, you're gonna have wars breaking out after that. You're gonna have people trying to rise up. You ever seen movies like Mad Max and whatnot? Like you had when they got to a certain point, certain people were looked at as leaders. Because of course, like in the Planet of the Apes and certain movies, they because you gonna have certain people with certain skills. So you might have somebody that knows how to deal with the power, electricity, that might could turn lights back on and whatnot. So that's why certain skills are actually very, very, very beneficial. You know what I mean? But at the same time, and a lot of Jake don't know how to do shit. You got people that you got to remember. We come from families just two generations before, maybe 2 to 3 generations before, people knew how to make their own wine, grew their own food, knew how to have their own little gardens and all that. Now all that knowledge and wisdom is lost. So a lot of Jake ain't gonna know how to do shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Esau got like a diabolical motherfucker. So of course it's gonna be a second depopulation. You're gonna have all kind of gang. That's what a lot of like in my spirit, like you see these guys like Boosie Badass and those guys like a Nipsey Hustle and all that shit. You know what I mean? And true enough, he might have been trying to do something, you know, you know, worthwhile or beneficial to black people. Because at the end of the day, even those that are lost still got. I know a 2/3 right now, and in his mind, he he all this black power shit, but then he got over on me. You know what I mean? And at the time when I was really fucked up. So you know what I'm saying? And Salak Ryan to that damn demon. At the end of the day though, that show you how bugged out Jake is. You know, because at the end of the day, they want to be in the same position as Esau, but more than likely not righteously, unrighteously. You know what I mean? Like you got dudes that become Masons because they thinking that he's gonna be a line of black Mason kings or some shit like that. How you go? That's just like when we was at camp. This fucking demon 2/3 ass nigga with a pink shirt on, a fucking pharaoh chain, walks up to a camp. You know how they got that terror motive. You know what I mean? He coming like he humble, like most people do, but then they want to. He brought confusion. He talking about this 8 of y'all, so I got a lot of questions, but that's confusion. You ain't even letting one answer come out. How what I mean? People don't look at it that way. But he talking about Pharaoh mean king. But how the fuck you a king in another man's kingdom? You know what I'm saying? You ain't a king no more there. You know what I mean? That's just like when what's that in the book of Jeremiah where when they came and took all, all the city captive, and the one king actually was he the I think Nebuchadnezzar allowed him to live. You had to go to the story, but I'm pretty sure I can't remember the king name, but he basically let him live. So he was a king, amongst us, the Israelites. But you can't never be a king. I mean, you not the same. You know what I mean? Like because how you gonna be a king with the king that conquered you? Like you no longer the king. You know what I mean? Like you fuck around and go try and tell one of your former subjects to do something. It depending on how loyal or how you know what I mean, but they fuck around. You catch the wrong person, they like for instance in that movie Black Panther. You know what I mean? Remember how like I told you I'm not good with names, but in these movies, but the one character that played in Get Out where he was up there, he lost respect, and that's what made him actually do what he did with Killmonger. You know what I mean? Because he looked at it like you couldn't, revenge your father's death. You know what I mean? He respected and loved the father, and you the son. If anybody wanted revenge, he looking like you should have got it. You know what I mean? So it's deep. I'm just going on. I'm gonna have to put various topics again, but I'm gonna try and finish this up. It says, perhaps the best way for the world to end, at least from the point of view of the survivors trying to rebuild again and afterward, will be a sudden and virulent, virulent plague. This would rapidly remove the vast majority of the population, but leave all the stuff behind. The communities of survivors could scavenge what they need while they relearn all the skills and knowledge needed to reboot a civilization for themselves. Not just as going into all that. At the end of the day, the thing is, it's going to be viruses and plague because you got to remember, Esau makes all kind of viruses and plagues. Like Elder Malcolm was going into, you got AIDS, which has a patent. Ebola has a patent. They got a whole fucking a place. That's why you got the CDC. The CDC, Center for Disease Control. They house diseases. You know what I mean? They deal with different diseases. Like, at the end of the day, these devils is, one day, they gonna or people gonna realize that this man truly is the devil. Continue. So what might be Salakia? So what might we be able to do today to safeguard our future in case of a global catastrophe and collapse of civilization? And that's my point. Like I said in that scripture, they truly believe in their heart of heart that they gonna be able to. They don't look at it like like for instance, we was talking about how you know a dude was like a white man saved me because he I guess lost a leg, maybe could have died, but he lived through the surgery of this white man. But like one of the brothers said, he said it wasn't this white man saved you, it was the Most High saved you. Like if you ever seen that movie Paul, and Paul actually, the one Roman, I think he was a centurion or whatnot. I know he was I don't want to say he was a general. I think he was like a centurion. He I know he had to have Paul. He was in charge of holding on to Paul as he got executed. Long story short, his daughter got sick. Now Paul spiritually like prayed and but it was Luke that actually healed the girl. So that's how the Most High works. I mean, he could do whatever he want. He could have gave Paul the power to heal, and I'm sure Paul probably healed people. I'm pretty sure he did because all the disciples and apostles had spiritual power. But at the same time, in that movie, you could see. I mean, brothers in the truth have known. That's why you. I mean, it's easier said than done. Like I said, that was a powerful lesson that the brother from GMS, Kansas City, went into because of the fact, uh, you know, this thing that's what he made a video called "Patience is the Virtue" because this thing, like I said, it can drive you mad. You know what I mean? He was like, but you got to learn to be more patient. Like for instance, sometimes you can't always be rebuking and cussing motherfuckers out. Sometimes you got to humble yourself. Like I was at a job. I'm going through some shit with some work shit and all that. But long story short, like at the job, I literally was gonna walk off the job. I was like way spazzed out, and brothers be going getting all this different what's the word, stimuli from all different things. You got this going on probably with your woman, with your kids, with the job, with Esau, with, you know what I mean, million fucking things going on. That could drive you crazy, but at the same time, so yeah, you can see yourself snapping more and more, but then sometimes you gotta learn to humble yourself. Like, I was ready to walk out this fucking job based on they try to hit me with I'm using the bathroom too much. Now mind you, this is like some prison slave job shit. This ain't no easy job. And it was just because a one two-third Jake, he want to be jealous. You know, corny ass nigga. That's a nigga, you know what I'm saying? I knew he had demons on him just because me and the guy got to talking about, like, dude, talking about, for whatever reason, his spirit, he just come out the blue talking about he a Muslim. We ain't talking about shit. He just went into, oh yeah, I can't eat pork. And I'm like, oh, you don't eat pork? So, I told him the truth a little bit, hipped him on to, the elder site. You know what I mean? I'm like, if this for you, you know what I mean, it's going to resonate with you. At the end of the day, while we trying to talk, this dude just get to act. You can see a demon on him. You know what I mean? Like, he get to, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, wow. And I've seen multiple people do it before. Like, when you know how that go when you out on the highways and byways. They don't want that word coming out. So, but they like, you using the bathroom words. I'm like, what you mean? And I'm like, I don't know if you think I'm just one of these. I use the word, these niggas, you know what I'm saying, that don't know nothing, fresh home from jail and just happy to have this minimum wage job where you should be getting paid $30 an hour for this. This is like slave labor type shit. You know what I'm saying? We fighting a fucking machine like John Henry. I got to keep up with the machine or beat it. You know what I mean? I say, listen, that's illegal. You can't. I say, I could have health problems, anything. And you didn't ask me none of that shit before I got hired. Who the fuck is you to tell me I'm using the bathroom too much? You know what I mean? Like, what? I've been to jail and they ain't say I use the bathroom too much. You know what I mean? Like, so, but it, and I text the brothers, and it was only one brother up, and a lot of people didn't know what to say, but I did something I never did, and I think I know the spirit was with me because in the past I wouldn't have put up on that. I probably would have left there and changed. You know what I'm saying? You know, but I humbled myself in that situation. So because you can't. I mean, you can't This thing is gonna have to be. I mean, especially with the times coming. It was a powerful lesson because, like how the brother said, you know, I look back at a lot of times in this thing, and I could have handled myself in different ways. Because especially you don't want to be locked up. I mean, don't get me wrong, if that's your lot or however the spirit move, but if you had an opportunity to avoid something, you supposed to move with wisdom in this thing. You know what I mean? Like, I look back at a few different things now and then. You got to remember things are getting worse. So, like I said, for brothers that got women or dealing with, because you got a lot of brothers that, Scripture said, there's nothing you can have, especially if you not, betrothed or married or whatnot. You know what I mean? Like, you can have multiple women, but also saying scripture, don't give your strength on the women. You know what I mean? So you gonna give all your energy and time and your strength. That a woman could kill. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna stop right there. I ain't mean to digress. Salakia.